our next guest, our friend Max Muncy of the Dodgers, joining us right now. I want to see the smile. What's the smile when you checked your phone? There it is. There it is. Come on. How pumped are you right now, dude?
Yeah, it was a pretty exciting day. I actually didn't find out right away. I was putting the kids to sleep or put them down for a nap. I don't remember what time of day it was, but my wife came upstairs and was like, "Hey, how do you feel about playing with Shohei?" And she didn't give me any details, so I thought it was pretty cool. And then I had some text messages. David Vassay reached out, wanted me to come on, but I was busy with the kids, and that's when I saw it was 10 years, 700 million. And I was like, "Oh man, that's a lot of money."
Wow. Okay. So then what? Who did you call? Who did you text? Like, is it teammate group text action? Is it phone calls to some of your closer friends on the squad? What happens after that? Because obviously we've been following this story, and I know you have too, for a long time.
Yeah, the Dodgers group chat was blowing up pretty good. Everyone was going crazy about it. There's a lot of things being said. I'm not going to repeat any of those. That's for the boys to hear. So, but it was going nuts. Yeah.
Did Freddie say now he doesn't have to pay for any more meals?
I think a couple people said something along those lines. Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, you got Freddie and Mookie. Which one? I mean, there's those two. You. I mean, it's not like you guys have a bunch of rookies that haven't
Max
made
ain't
any
paying
money.
anything.
Well, I mean, you did just sign a new 2-year deal, so I mean, he said. Remember when we congratulated him on his 2-year deal? He said, "Oh yeah, I took less to sign Shohei." So that that $675 million you took less went right to Shohei.
Yeah, I thought about texting Andrew that actually, but I figured I'd wait till spring to drop that one on him.
Did you want to, or have you yet communicated with Dave Roberts and said, "Take a deep breath, dude. You can talk about whatever you want again"?
I think he knows that, which I didn't understand the whole craze behind that anyways. I don't understand why that became such a big deal just from, I don't follow a lot of it, but my understanding was he said that they had a meeting and then everyone freaked out about that. Like, how was that news? Everyone knew he was going to have a meeting with the Dodgers. It's not like that was some secret out there,
Well, I'll give a little more context, okay? So, we had multiple reports, and we can get to the fake news part, but the legit MLB insiders, like top of the biz, okay? Ken Rosenthal, Jeff Passan, both talked about how there were conversations about keeping it very hush-hush. And so I think because Ohtani is so freaking big and the prize of maybe baseball history in terms of free agency, that teams were like taking it too far, right? I mean, I think some teams took it like, hey, if we say anything, maybe he holds it against us, because that is how it was at least construed from insiders. So do you think that caused the mass hysteria because you don't want to be the person that says too much, even if he really didn't care that much? We don't know because we don't get a lot of transparency on the behind the scenes stuff.
I mean, I guess I can see that, but to me, it was just one of those things where, everyone in the world knew there was a meeting happening. So I didn't see why that was a big deal.
Are you going to have a meeting with Doc if you are hitting fourth and he's hitting third? Shouldn't you, with your incredible on-base percentage, be hitting in front of him and then he just gets to knock all three of you guys in?
I'm just going to be happy to be in that lineup with the amount of superstars we got. So wherever they want to put me, I'm not going to complain about that one.
But is there a thing to stacking those guys? Like stacking Freddie left, you left, Shohei left, or is it something that you guys kind of are excited to see how that goes?
Traditionally, I know that we've always liked going left, right, left with the guys that play every day. If there's certain guys that you switch out when a lefty comes in, they usually don't care as much about that. But traditionally, we've always gone left, right, left. So I'd imagine they'd find a way to keep that the same.
You guys are a little left-hand heavy now, though. You, Freddie, Lux when he comes back, right? Jason Hayward, Outman. I mean, someone's going to break. Will Smith's going to have to be the guy that gets all those tough righties, but he's also going to be a nice spot because they're going to bring in the lefty to face three of you four. So he's going to be up there going, "Here we go, boys." I mean,
yeah, I think a lot of our righties are going to be smiling a lot of the time. So, yeah, we do have a lot of lefties, but the righties that they'll get more than their fair share against a couple of lefties.
Max, did you follow Friday when we had some fake news about Ohtani flying to Toronto, but that ended up being the Shark Tank dude? And then you had another report out there, and these are people that have, BBWAA cards or whatever, right? Like it's not just a rando fan. These are people that work in the industry. And then since then, obviously they were chastised by their colleagues in the industry being like, I get it. We're on this rush to be first, but it's a bad miss because you had Toronto freaking out, right? Fans thinking they got him. And we're doing our show live Friday. We have a ton of people watching. And Dodger fans are in there like doing eulogies. Like, I spent my whole year following this. All I wanted was Shohei. It's over. And it wasn't over. He didn't make his decision yet.
I feel like with any big trade or big signing, this always happens. If you look at last year, was it the arson judge incident? There's all sorts of things that happen, especially with trades. They say one thing's done. I remember before we got Scherzer, I thought it was a done deal. He was going to the Padres. You always have to wait until the final details come out. I feel like the preliminary reports don't always get it right.
What's the first thing you tell Shohei or say to Shohei besides welcome? You can have Joe Kelly's number. Do you learn a Japanese phrase and then because I can teach you Japanese. I know one really good phrase in Japanese if you want to learn it.
I don't know. I haven't decided on that one yet. That's I think that'll be just a wing it spur of the moment type thing. Because the first time that I see him, I'm sure it's going to be, people will be showing him around the facility, and it'll be a lot of stuff going on. So it'll just be a quick hey. But the next time will be when maybe I'll drop something on him. We'll see. I haven't come to that conclusion yet.
The first time is when you need to drop this on him. Listen. Oh, nada data.
What does that mean?
I just farted.
Oh, okay.
That's a great way. You don't even have to say Ohayo gozaimasu. You don't have to try to be just, or you could say, oh, nada shita. Oh, nada shita would be, did you just fart? So that's a good go-to. It'll break the ice.
Okay, I'll remember that.
Yeah. He's like, thanks, Kratz. Good to know. Eric Kratz.
No, I'll remember it. Yeah, it'll be a good one.
It is a good one, though. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Max, do you have Shohei's phone number yet? Have you reached out to him? I mean, are you not calling traveling secretary saying, hey, listen, man, I need when they play the game, who's the most famous person on your phone, you call the traveling secretary and say, hey, listen, I need Shohei's phone number. I just want to reach out to him and say, welcome, and I'll show you around, and you can buy me dinner.
And I haven't done that yet, but that will be a good name to drop when people ask who the most famous person you have on your phone is. I feel like it's gonna be hard to beat Shohei in terms of famousness now.
Wait, so who would be the most famous right now if the traveling secretary doesn't give you Shohei's number?
Oh, I don't know.
Non-teammate.
I got Rob Lowe's number. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
There you go. From meeting him at a Dodger game?
Yeah, he's a big Dodger fan. He's I actually dumped a bunch of beer on him after one of our playoff wins. He was in the club. He was in the clubhouse sitting in the corner, and I said, hey, if you're going to be in here, you got to have a good time. And so I started pouring a bunch of beer all over him.
That's awesome. Nope. How did he react to it?
He said he loved it. Who knows? He claims it was one of the best nights he had. But you guys have seen it when you're part of those beer showers after you win a playoff game. It's a pretty special moment. It's something that no one ever takes for granted, and it's fun to be a part of that. So I'm sure he really enjoyed it.
No, Max, no Magic Johnson, no Mary Hart, no Jason Bateman. He comes to a lot of games. You're going with Rob Lowe.
Yeah, well, I don't have their numbers. I've met a lot of them, but I don't have any of their numbers. I have Rob Lowe's number, and so I'll go with that one.
I mean, you have Freddie. You have Mookie. You got Joe Davis. He's kind of famous now. Yeah, I know, but he's been there. Think about it. He's been there when Mookie's come. He's been there when Freddie's come. He's been there when Shohei come. You're like the old grizzled vet now. All right, you're like, oh, another superstar to hit with me. Oh man, this is getting old news now.
No, it never gets old. It's extremely fun, and it's a blessing to be a part of it. And I'm happy I get to do it for a couple more years.
Yeah, and there's something in common here. All of those times that big superstars land with the Dodgers, you're there. So how much did you guys talk about the potential of Shohei joining your squad throughout the last year? Like we had Mookie on at one point talking about it, and and he was doing like the light recruiting, because you can't do the total recruiting when he's on another team, but the light recruiting about how cool it would be to play with him. So did you guys talk a lot about it? And it seemed like no one really knew what he was thinking, but a lot of people did put the Dodgers as the front runner based on the fact that he wants to win. And you guys no one can guarantee playoffs, right, Max? But you guys have been in the playoffs year after year, more so than any other ball club over the past decade. And that stands out to a player that has been coming from a team now where he's never played October baseball yet. He's never played October playoff baseball.
Yeah, it's something that, I give Andrew a lot of credit for. He doesn't he keeps us in the position to be in the playoffs every single year. He doesn't ever trade away the farm. It's something that we've always got guys coming up that are able to help us immediately, and we're always bringing in guys, whether free agency or trades. And it's fun to know that you're going to have a chance to win every single year. And as far as Shohei, I think that was something that no one really talked about heavily, other than what kind of deal do you think he was going to get. And I don't think anyone ever would have guessed 700. I think the most I remember anyone guessing was 500, but no one really talked about it too much. It was always just, little things here and there about what we thought he was going to get. And, obviously you think about it, but I don't think we talked about it a ton.
Through the 10 years of his contract, Shohei's contract, you won't be there for all 10. You'll be there for maybe 5 or 6 of them, maybe-ish. Is that a fair number?
I'd love that. That'd be great. Yeah.
How many World Series championships or appearances, either way, would make a $700 million contract worth it?
That's a tough question, because I've been seeing that from the projection of sales and sponsors and marketing and all that, the deal is going to pay for itself in just a couple of years. That's without World Series. So I don't know. I mean, I think you obviously hope that you get a couple of World Series throughout that time, and that's the whole reason that he signed with us, is he's hoping to get a couple World Series out of that.
So wait, are the Dodgers now the favorite to win the NL?
I'm not in the business of making those predictions.
Hell yeah! Say hell yeah, dude.
I go out there and play.
Oh, come on. Yeah, I mean, listen, the Dodgers have been good for years. I mean, I know it's hard to say, but I mean, listen, if I'm on that team, I'm like, boys, let's strap it on. We're going not 162. We're going another month.
I mean, I might be thinking something different, but I'm not gonna. I don't like putting things out there. So
Did he make the right choice? Because the whole storyline was he wants to go somewhere to win. You guys have been to the playoffs. Is there any reason he would have made the wrong choice going to the Dodgers? And that's if his number one goal is to win.
No, I don't think so. We're putting ourselves in a position to be in the playoffs every single year, and obviously we got to figure out a couple of things when we get to the playoffs, but we're there, and that's more than half the battle, is just getting there. And so we put ourselves in a good position to do that every single year. So yeah, he definitely made the right decision.
What's next? Because even Andrew Friedman has said, yeah, we got to make sure we got our pitching down tight, and there's been some potential exits. There's injuries. There's a young staff that I think was put to the test pretty quickly last year. And yeah, when we got to the postseason, it was a problem for the team. I don't think that's a secret. So do you expect to see some pitching additions to add to the depth of the staff?
I'm sure the front office has some things up their sleeves, and I just like to let it play out, because I know that they're gonna put all the pieces together to make this as good a team as they possibly can. We've got several guys, in their primes right now, and I know they don't want to waste that. So, I have good faith in them that they're going to put the best pieces together.
Hey, what about Clayton Kershaw, who I think since we talked to you last came out and announced the shoulder situation? So he likely wouldn't be back until later on this coming season. Have you spoken to him at all this offseason? And would it be weird, shocking, crazy to see him end up signing with a different ball club? Like, it hasn't come together yet, and that doesn't mean that it wouldn't come together. And I'm sure there's obviously mutual interest, but he's from Texas. People have always been throwing that out there for years. Could he end up with the Rangers?
for me personally, I would find it extremely shocking that he doesn't come back as a Dodger. But, you know, I would also understand it, with him and his family being from Dallas and, his kids all getting a little older, being in school and stuff. It's a big decision to, you know, possibly come back to LA. But for me, I think being a Dodger does mean a lot to him. Obviously, I can't speak for him, but from what I've seen, I think being a Dodger does mean a lot. And I don't think he enjoyed how things ended in the playoffs last year, and so I think that does mean a little bit to him. But I would be shocked to see him in another uniform. But obviously, I can't speak for him. I don't know what's going through his head and going through his family's minds, because I know he never makes the decision on his own. He's very family based on that. So I could see it, but I would just be shocked.
Max, are you prepared for what's going to come with this Shohei storm when it hits? First day of spring training, he walks in. There's going to be way more media, way more people, way more fanfare. And then the other thing is he doesn't really talk that much to the media. So are you ready? Because he really only talks after he pitches, and he's not pitching this year. So are you guys ready, and you personally ready for going to have to answer some more questions?
I actually haven't even thought about that aspect of it. You bringing that up, that's the first time that I've even thought about that, and that's a very good point, because it is going to be, it's going to be a
shit
sure.
show. It's going to be a shit show.
it's
Camelback Ranch is going to be an absolute shit show this year. You're going to have one side, the White Sox, with 2 reporters, and then you're going to have the other side of Camelback Ranch with the Dodgers with 7 million people there watching every move you guys make.
Yeah, they might have to make some quick renovations to CBR. It's a very open facility in terms of getting to the backfields and getting to the main field. There's a lot of fans back there. That's how they've always liked it. They love to have the fan interaction with the players, but they might have to make some quick renovations because there's going to be a lot of people back there this year.
Have you ever played with a Japanese? Remind me, I'm trying to go through the teams in my mind. A Japanese star, obviously not as big as Shohei, but has Dodgers had anybody while you were there?
Yeah, we had Kenta. For a couple of years.
Was the following around him? Was there a large contingent of Japanese reporters that were always following him?
Yeah, always. And then with Hyunjin, there was a large contingent of Korean reporters. And when Hyunjin was with us, we were constantly told that we were the number one thing in Korea. Every time that Hyunjin pitched, they aired his game on every single channel in Korea, pretty much, is what we'd been told. So obviously those two aren't to the extent that Shohei, but we've experienced a little bit of it before.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Playing with Tanaka, like, there was games, obviously didn't play a lot, but there was games where if you were around, they would want to ask you a question about what you saw, and I wouldn't even catching bullpens. So it's a residual thing. Like, it will cavalcade, it will roll downhill to you. Like, hey, you were hitting 2 places behind him. What's it like to hit behind Shohei?
I have a feeling there's gonna be a lot of those questions that year, and that goes along with what y'all were just saying about it's going to be a lot different this year. It is going to be a shit show, in the words of AJ there.
Max,
will you and Shohei be in the same BP group?
I don't know. I don't know if he's a BP guy or if he's a hitting the cage guy. Everyone's different. I feel like nowadays it's getting more and more to guys don't like hitting out on the field. I've played with plenty of teammates that they don't like hitting out on the field. So I don't know what kind of guy he is when it comes to that.
Kratz, I'm trying to think of how we can help Max capitalize off this. So the Dodgers are the biggest team in Korea, thanks to Ryu. If they weren't already, they're definitely going to be the biggest team in Japan. So maybe next off season, you do a little tour out there, you do some signings. Like, I'm telling you, I bet after this coming season, if you went out to South Korea or to Japan or to both, and you're walking around the street, you're going to get stopped consistently. It's Max Muncy of the Dodgers. Max Muncy's here. So I don't know. Maybe you end up getting an endorsement deal out there from it or something.
I wouldn't mind that. I'll say whenever you have the players come from Korea or Japan, they always are rocking the coolest gear. They always have
Yep.
the coolest looking stuff. All their equipment's made out of like patent leather. It all just looks really, really cool. So that wouldn't be the worst thing.
Max, start with Korea, because you know where you open the season next year?
In Korea, yeah.
Yeah, so I would start your agent calling around to Korea saying, hey, we got Shohei now. It's time for me to cash in a little bit. I'm going to be hitting behind him. I'm going to be driving him in. We're going to be high-fiving when I hit homers. Hey, I don't know. Hey, let's go. Let's start in Korea, that first series. The only thing it might be bigger is if it started, obviously, in Japan. But, I mean, Korea is not that far from Japan. There is going to be a lot of people in Korea looking for you guys.
Yeah, it's I think we'll have to maybe add a little bit to our security team this year.
Also on the social media side, Max, and I know you're not like all over it, but on Instagram, Lars Newbar became a star. I think he has a 7-figure following on Instagram from playing with Shohei for Team Japan in the World Baseball Classic. So just want to let you know you might have a lot more action there, a lot more fans, which is not the worst thing.
Yeah, I've been pretty off it. I might have to get back into those things.
I would. Kratz, I mean, any advice? So cool. It sounds great. Cooler stuff. You're an international celebrity, more followers, potentially more endorsement deals. These are the kind of ripple effects that we're talking about with a global superstar.
Advice from me?
Yeah, you said you played with Tanaka.
I played with Tanaka, but I was ambushed by it. I had no idea that it was like how it was.
And you just ambushed him because Max said I haven't even thought about it yet, and that's why we do this show, so you guys, as former players, can talk him through what's going on and what's about to happen.
Listen, we beat the Indians in Game 5 of the ALDS, and Masa was giving an interview in front of Japanese television, and we were spraying champagne everywhere, and he was sitting down for a formal interview at whatever it was, 12 o'clock at night, and I went behind him. So I was basically on Japanese live television, and I said, I just farted in Japanese. Like, you think I'm the person to give advice to Max? Max, like, you need to take this for what it is and just enjoy the ride. Just watch the show, because it is incredible.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm really excited just to see him on a everyday basis. Just getting to play against him a couple of times over the years. It's it's always fun because you're always just waiting. What's going to happen today, and you obviously don't want him to do anything too big against your team, but you're kind of hoping that something cool happens. And it's one of those things where there's very few people in this game that you can expect something cool out of on a daily basis, and he's definitely one of them. You just don't know what he's going to do. He's just a unicorn when it comes to that kind of stuff.
All right, so here's my one advice I'll give you. I never played with someone on the level of Shohei. No one has, obviously, except for the Angels guys. Spring training, Camelback Ranch, just ask the clubhouse guy to put his locker at the far other end, so that way you can get dressed in peace and they don't bother you, right? And then, during the season, it's a little more controlled, but in spring training, everyone just rushes in. So just make sure the clubhouse guy puts you at, say, the left end, and you're all the way at the right. That way you can just come and go. Nobody notices you. Everyone's down there, and then you're in and out. Done. Get your work in and get out.
Yeah, that is a good piece of advice. I'll have to relay that onto to Alex. Maybe we'll give him his own locker room. Just he can have all the space he wants.
Hopefully
that could have been something negotiated into his contract. Who knows?
You never know. We haven't gotten all the details yet. So hopefully this was a helpful session to talk to these dudes. Max, great to have you on. Great to see the smile. And also cool for, I'm sure, many in the Dodgers org that this is done. Like, he's there. They can focus on what's next and all of that. So thanks for swinging by, dude. Keep crushing the off season. All right?
Yeah. I'm excited to see what happens with free agency now. I think everyone was waiting for the big domino to fall, and now I think it's going to be a whirlwind of moves that happen pretty quickly. So I'm excited to see, where everyone's going to go for this year.
99% or so of free agents haven't signed yet, which is insane. right? Which is fine. I mean, it's been fun for us to talk about all of this. And now it's like, okay, let the rest of the offseason begin. It's December 11th. So you're right. It's a good call.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of probably friends and colleagues and peers in the industry who are sitting at home like, okay, my turn.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting to see. It'll be fun to see the deals that guys are gonna get now that Shohei's off the table.
He set the market nicely too. I know no one's Shohei, but it's the game is thriving. We'll put it that way. So Max, great to have you on, dude.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you again later this offseason. All right.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks for having me on.